But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance, a reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX Series with 0% financing available or save up to $12,000. Now through July 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for a full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment Company in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see a full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check us out online at columbusequipment.com.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kenner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
You want hot takes? No, I'm not going to apologize to Ryan Day. Everything we said about Ryan Day up into the playoffs was true.
Not bad. Come on, Kenner. You can do better than that.
To be fair, of all the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, Joe Burrow is the least accomplished.
Getting better.
1,000,000%. I 1,000,000% believe that the Dayton Flyers are afraid of the Wright State Raiders. That's why they come up with every excuse in the book not to play them.
There it is. The hottest take of them all. It's the Justin Kenner Show, presented by Frickers, live on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Happy Friday. It's the Justin Kenner Show, presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun food, sports, and spirits. All right, a lot to get into here today. Who would have thought that after waiting and waiting and waiting for LeBron James to make a decision on where he was going to take his talents to this time, that it would end up being dumped on a Friday. I mean, on a Friday heading into the weekend. Pretty fascinating is what, today is the day we found out where LeBron James is taking his talents to. Shams broke the news earlier today. LeBron James signing with the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year, $8 million deal with the player option for year 2. Clutch Sports Group and Clutch CEO and Game Over show host Rich Paul, of course, gives the info to ESPN. So it's official. LeBron James going to play his 24th and possibly 25th season in Philadelphia. And of course, that has brought about all of the emotions, if you will, everyone's instant reaction. No, it doesn't seem like anyone's really happy about LeBron going to Philadelphia because we live in Ohio. And I think even the people that said they didn't want LeBron to go to Cleveland are still upset that he did not pick Cleveland. I feel a certain way that he didn't pick Cleveland. Don't get me wrong. I think that it just made too much sense. Cleveland's not a bad team. All day today, I've heard about how bad Cleveland is, as if this team was not just in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, I know they got swept, but I don't give a damn if they got knocked out, in the round before the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't care. This Cavaliers team is a very, very good team. Two very good players that have post presence inside in Mobley and Jared Allen. Right? You have Donovan Mitchell. All right. James Harden may not be the best fit, but it's still James Harden. There's still weapons on that roster. That's a good basketball team. And they've been an ascending and team that's gotten better and better every year. And they've done all of that without LeBron James. And for LeBron James to come back and be the final piece to that puzzle, to take him from the Eastern Conference Finals, to get him over the hump, to get him to the finals, like I said, The storybook ending always could have been him coming back to end his career in Cleveland, whether they were good or not. It just made sense. But it made even more sense when you look at the fact that, I don't know, the Cavs with Donovan Mitchell, with Evan Mobley, with Jared Allen down low in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, what else could you have asked for? You could have played on a title contender and ended your career in Cleveland. Now LeBron picks the Philadelphia 76ers, where he will end his career there. And I don't have a huge issue with it, but it just, why string teams along this long? I said the longer this went along, or the longer this decision got drawn out, the more angry fans in Cleveland were going to be if he ultimately did not pick Cleveland. But I always felt that the longer that we got removed, the further along into this that we got, every passing day got worse and worse for Cleveland, because I feel like Cleveland would have been an easy PR win, even at the peak of the World Cup, no matter what was going on in other sports. LeBron back to Cleveland would be the biggest storyline in all of sports, no matter what was going on. But ultimately, pick the 76ers. Is he playing on a winning team? Yes. Is he playing with great talent around him? Yes. Is he playing on an NBA Finals contender? Yes. It's not the point. The big question is always the why. He feels the 76ers give him a better chance to win a championship, as far as that's concerned. I'm a little bummed he did not pick Cleveland. But at the same time, to see LeBron, who 40-plus years old, 23 years in the league, going on his 24th season in the league, still one of the top players in the NBA. I do not think he's going to ride the coattails of Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid and obviously Brown, who they just acquired in this offseason. I don't think he's going there to ride the coattails of them. I think he's going there to be that final piece to the puzzle. And there is an interesting, element there. There is an interesting storyline there. Will he get to 6 NBA championships to tie Michael Jordan? No, he won't. But I already find what he has done up to this point to be beyond impressive anyways. I've always said the fact that he has won a championship with every franchise that he has played with. I would loved for him to kept that talking point intact. If you go back to Cleveland, you've already won them a championship. If you go back to Miami, you've already won them a championship. Los Angeles, you won them a championship. You go to Philadelphia, there's so much pressure to win a championship, because if he pulls that off, to me, in my opinion, being the final piece to a championship puzzle in Philadelphia caps off the most legendary career in the history of the NBA when you really think about it. I don't care about your opinion about Michael Jordan being the GOAT. The bottom line is, LeBron James, you drop him on a roster, you put him on any franchise, they're championship contenders, they go on to win a championship. If he pulls this off in Philadelphia, to play in Cleveland and win a championship, to play in Los Angeles and win a championship, to play in Miami and win a championship, and now to end up in Philadelphia, if he's able to bring a championship there, 4 championships, or 5 championships, I should say, on 4 different teams, on every team that he has played on, to me, it's kind of hard to argue against that legacy right there. His legacy's set. In my opinion, even if he would have retired, he's, to me, the best player to ever play in the NBA. All right, everyone has their opinion. Some believe it's MJ. I don't. I think the player that is bigger, that is faster, that is stronger, that could play pretty much any position on the floor at a dominant level, that could be the best passer in the league, the best rebounder in the league if he wanted, the best scorer in the league if he wanted, wins everywhere he goes. I'm bigger, faster, stronger. I think I've said that already. I think it's adorable that it's even an opinion that the player that's not bigger, that's not faster, that's not stronger, I don't understand how it's even an opinion, but that's my opinion. It's the Justin Kinder Show, so I'm giving you my opinion. That's the GOAT. He goes on to win a championship in Philadelphia. I think it's an easy one at that point. I think that secures it as far as that's concerned. But I want to talk about it from Cleveland's perspective real quick. I actually think there's silver lining to getting dumped by LeBron for the 15th time, or you could say he didn't really dump them. He just didn't, pick them, Look, I'm 5'5". I've been, an unathletic. I've been short my entire life. I know what it's like, at recess when you have captains picking teams, and I'm one of the last ones to be picked. I know what that's like, and that was Cleveland. They were picked over. They weren't picked, and it's not a great feeling. But I'm here to tell you, Cleveland, people could say that the front office didn't do enough to secure LeBron James. I see Cleveland getting bashed today. I actually think what Cleveland did was smart. I think what Cleveland did was look at LeBron James and say, for the first time since you came into the NBA to now, we can offer you more than you can offer us. And we are not, the last 2 times you've been a Cleveland Cavalier, when you have left us absolutely decimated and left us with bad contracts, older, players who don't produce, and no real clear direction. Right now, we want you in Cleveland, but we're not going to give up assets to go get Kyrie Irving. We're not going to give up assets to go get Anthony Davis. You want a dominant big to play with. We believe we have one of the next big dominant bigs in Evan Mobley. We're confident in that. We're not going to let you play GM. You want to come back to Cleveland and end your career in Cleveland and be a Cavalier? Come be a player. Come be a Cavalier. Come be a part of the organization. But you're no longer running the organization. Good for Cleveland. Cleveland, because I kept saying, man, if you are the Cavaliers, I would give up Evan Mobley to go get a Giannis Antetokounmpo. But Giannis is older. He's been in the league a long time. When people talk about Anthony Davis, all the games that he has missed, Giannis Antetokounmpo has actually missed more games over the last 3 years than Anthony Davis. The Cavaliers were in the right. We're not giving up Evan Mobley for Giannis. Giannis might be better for right now, but we feel like with what Mobley brings to the table, he's going to give us a lot more for a lot longer than to experience that quick high with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think the Cavaliers played this right. For the first time in a long time, the Cleveland Cavaliers have a positive view of themselves. They feel good about themselves. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals without LeBron James. They built an Eastern Conference Finals contender, a finals contender without LeBron James. They wanted LeBron James, and for the first time since LeBron's been in the league, they didn't need LeBron James. That's what I love about what Cleveland did. I love the fact that they entertained welcoming LeBron home. I love the fact that they had many conversations and were willing to do some stuff to appease him. But what they were not willing to do is to mortgage the future. You don't give up Evan Mobley, who could be a centerpiece for you for the next 10 years, for 2 years of LeBron. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. And like LeBron wanting Anthony Davis is a weird flex. And by the way, this is all speculation. We don't know, but this is all off of, NBA insiders and reports and the rumor mill and everything that's out there. You don't do that for an Anthony Davis. I'm sorry, you just don't. As you know, I just mentioned earlier, he's actually been healthier than Giannis. But again, those two are two of the most injured players, along with the big that he's going to play with now in Philadelphia and Joel Embiid. I don't trust any one of those. I don't trust Joel Embiid. I don't trust Anthony Davis. I don't trust Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't trust any of those bigs in regards to mortgaging a future asset to land one of those pieces. So that's where I'm at. I'm bummed to see LeBron go somewhere else and not finish his career in Cleveland, but I'm also happy that Cleveland said, we just got Donovan Mitchell for 5 more years. We have our guy. We've got to build around Donovan Mitchell. We have Evan Mobley, a great defensive big that complements, obviously Donovan Mitchell. Not a big fan of the James Harden thing. But again, this team was just in the Eastern Conference Finals. And if you guys remember that Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals, like Cleveland should have won that game. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Get it. If Cleveland wins that Game 1 at Madison Square Garden, where I thought Cleveland actually looked like the better team, they collapsed. No doubt about it. They collapsed late in that game. No doubt about it. But the confidence that they played in, went in there and were the better team for the majority of that game in Madison Square Garden. But it's like once they crumbled and once the Knicks completed that comeback, the Cavs never came out with that same intensity and same aggression as far as that goes. That's a learning opportunity. They need to go improve that roster, no doubt. But like I said, I'm glad that the Cleveland Cavaliers said, we will work with LeBron. We will try to appease LeBron to a certain extent, but we are not going to mortgage our future for the third time in 23 years just for one player for a 2-year stretch. If LeBron's 5 years younger and you can get another 3 to 5 years of LeBron, yes, goodbye Evan Mobley. But for 2 years, maybe even just one, I'm happy for Cleveland. Cleveland had confidence in themselves for once to say, wait, we like our roster. It needs some tune-ups here and there, but we like our roster. Stop. I mean, LeBron acting like I'll come to Cleveland, but you really need to what? You have 2 really good bigs inside. One of the best defensive bigs in the league in Evan Mobley. You have one of the best guards in the league in Donovan Mitchell. Cleveland has won for many years now, continues to win, and just got to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm sorry, but Cleveland had every right to stare at LeBron and say, we want you. We'll tinker with some things, but you're not in charge here. We are. You want to come play for a contender and end your career where it started. We're providing you something. We're providing you more than what you're technically providing us. Good for Cleveland. I think that what they did, I see them getting ripped. I see a lot of media in Cleveland, saying that they didn't do enough, that they should be ashamed and blah, 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 blah. No, I don't. I have no problem with it. Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell is your 1-2 punch for the next 5-6 years. And you risked mortgaging that for maybe a 1-year run with LeBron. I'm good. I'm good with Cleveland and their approach to that. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on a Friday. 937-518-1410. I'm unlocking the phone lines. You can call in. You can text in. I'll get to your texts and I'll get to your phone calls when we come back. How do you feel about LeBron not picking Cleveland? Are you mad at LeBron? Are you mad at Cleveland? Or are you like me, where my take is this? It's a very in-the-middle take. I'm bummed he didn't pick Cleveland, but I'm really happy that Cleveland didn't act like a desperate franchise and start giving up pieces left and right to try to appease LeBron. Because it's not as if Cleveland, if they make a move or two to try to appease him, what if he still doesn't pick Cleveland? I think Cleveland, for the first time in a long time, operated like a very mature and respectable, confident organization. I love what Cleveland did. And they didn't do anything. And that's the point. They didn't act like a desperate franchise. I'm cool with it. 937-518-1410. Your calls, your texts when we come back.
KTH Parts Industries in St. Paris is now hiring and has increased the hourly wage of $22.48. That's right. KTH is looking for elite production associates, including press operators, overhead crane operators, and forklift operators. Apply today. KTH offers excellent benefits, including medical, dental, and 401k. KTH is a short drive from Bellefonte, Troy, Piqua, and Urbana. Upgrade your career and be valued by a company that really cares about you. Apply now at kth.net, an equal opportunity employer.
Save big money on your next painting project now at Menards. Rust-Oleum Stops Rust 5-in-1 spray paint lets you choose from 5 unique spray patterns with a twist of the dial, so you can get a professional, corrosion-resistant finish on every project. Save big money on Rust-Oleum spray paint now at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
I used to think all money managers were the same until I spoke with Fisher Investments.
Really? How different are they?
Fisher's investment counselors are dedicated to service, not sales, keeping clients up to date on their portfolio.
Well, they probably just invest in a bunch of mutual funds like I do.
Nope. They build a tailored portfolio based on their clients' personal goals, helping them stay on track for a comfortable retirement.
Well, they must make commissions selling products.
Actually, Fisher doesn't sell any commission-based products. They're a fiduciary, and they believe that's a conflict.
Then they have some kind of complex fee structure.
Nope. Fisher has a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of their client's portfolio. So they do better when their clients do better.
It sounds like Fisher really is different.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Fisher Investments, clearly different wealth management. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Upgrade to a new quality bath remodel in less time with minimal inconvenience and for less money with Bath Creations in as little as 2 days. We do it right. There are a lot of others boasting about bath remodels these days. Well, Bath Creations' expert craftsmanship and customer service speaks for itself. Plus, all first responders, veterans, and active military will save an additional $500 off your purchase. Visit our beautiful showroom at 8741 North Kimball Road in Clayton or at mybathcreations.com and upgrade your new bath today.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine. and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Nobody builds a business without hearing a few reasons it won't work. Too risky, too crowded, too ambitious. But the people who move things forward usually hear those words first. Because growing a business takes more than optimism. It takes nerve, and eventually, a partner built for what's next. That's Next Rodeo. Big thinking, proven creative. For businesses still moving forward. Next Rodeo. The difference between the business you have and the business you want. Meet us at thenextrodeo.com.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's a busy intersection in your neighborhood. Drivers, cyclists, and pedestrians all moving with their own destinations in mind. Think of the roadway like an ecosystem. Every move affects someone else. And whether you're behind the wheel, on two wheels, or on foot, the road is full of signs, signals, and people telling you what's ahead. When we anticipate what's happening around us, when we're predictable, when we share the space, everything is safer. There's space for all of us. Read the road, Ohio. Brought to you by the Ohio Department of Transportation.
The greatest shopping event of the summer is here. Macy's Black Friday and July sale is back, where you'll find 40 to 60% savings on all the hottest summer fashion and more. Don't wait. Get first dibs on everything you love about Black Friday shopping, from unbeatable sales across the store to curated styles for the season at lower than low prices. Head to Macy's now for a fun-filled holiday shopping adventure smack dab in the middle of summer. It's the can't miss sale of the month, Black Friday and July at Macy's. Savings off select prices. Exclusions apply.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
1410 Wing AM, Dayton's ESPN Radio, powered by...
Hey, Cordell Transportation is now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers, excellent pay, benefits, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Apply right now. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Do it right now. Driven to succeed.
ABS, TPMS, CVT, VVT. The auto industry loves its alphabet soup, but at Carroll Works Tire in Dayton, we keep it simple. The only acronym you need to remember is TIRE. Trust, integrity, reliability, expertise. That's what we deliver every day. Carroll Works Tire, keeping Dayton rolling with TIRE service you can count on. Find us online at C-W Tire or talk to a real human. 937-461-5441.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, we are back. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun food, sports, and spirits. LeBron announced that he's going to play 2 more seasons, or at least play 1 more season, signs a 2-year contract to take his talents to Philadelphia, where he will now be a 76er. How about that? Again, it's a 2-year deal with the player option for year 2. So we know we're going to see LeBron for at least 1 more season. That's going to be the big thing. There's some quotes that he put out earlier today, and I have it up for those watching on the stream. He talks about, I thought I was done when the season ended. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide, but I was pretty sure I played my last game. Look, I'm a LeBron fan. I'm a big LeBron fan, but I am very understanding of why he rubs people the wrong way. I don't think he comes across as very genuine when he says things in like this statement. I really don't believe him. When LeBron says, I thought that I was done, and when the season had ended, I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide, but I was pretty sure I played my last game. No. LeBron, you cannot drag on. You cannot drag out a decision like this and conveniently wait for the World Cup to come and go, conveniently let the All-Star game for baseball to come and go, conveniently wait for every big-name NBA All-Star free agent or trade piece to move just to make an announcement on a Friday towards the tail end of July during one of the most dead sports weeks on the calendar. You cannot sit here and convince me that you thought you had played your last game and actually want me to believe that you were going to end your career without an attention-seeking farewell tour. And that is coming from somebody that thinks that LeBron James deserves an attention-seeking farewell tour. He does. I think that every NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, MLS, WNBA, doesn't matter, name the sport. I think that every professional sport great deserves an attention-seeking send-off. I do. I have no problem with that. What we have done is we have taken certain things that should be just expected and normalized, and we've turned them into these like evil, we've framed them to be bad things, like LeBron James chasing a championship. Stephen A. Smith's first tweet or whatever it was that I found after, of course, he announced that he was going to go to the 76ers was, it's official. He's chasing a ring. And that was his tweet. That was his response to LeBron going to Philadelphia. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Yes, he should. I have no problem with it. But as far as the LeBron James, he's going to want a farewell tour. LeBron's going to do this same thing next year, okay? He's not going to drag us along as far as us wondering what team he's going to play for next. He's just going to dig deep into his Aaron Rodgers / Brett Favre Barney bag, and he's going to pull out an attention-seeking, am I retiring? Am I not retiring? Am I retiring? Am I not retiring? And then when the dead space of the offseason calendar presents itself, he will announce that he is going to come back for one more year, and it's going to be the farewell LeBron James season. Year number 25. So LeBron, I'm a LeBron guy, but I get it. He rubs everyone the wrong way because I don't think there's nothing genuine about LeBron. I don't think he comes across very genuine. I don't think he comes across very organic. I think he's tough to figure out. But I think people would like him. I would respect it more if he just, said, hey, I wanted to, I thought long and hard about it. I knew it was the 76ers, but I wanted to announce it on my time. If he said that, if that's his quote, good for you. Good for you. But when he tries to do this, no, I'm not doing this for attention. No, I really wanted to take my time to, really consider all my options. Stop it. You did it for attention, and that's okay. You're LeBron freaking James. Do it for attention. I'm not one of those people that actually that's a bad thing. Do it for attention, but what I get annoyed with is when you pretend like you didn't do it for attention. So when LeBron says in this quote that, oh, I was pretty sure I'd played my last game, I'm pretty sure you're full of crap. No, you were not pretty sure you had played your last game. You knew you knew you were pretty sure you played your last game in Los Angeles. You did not play. You did not actually think that you had played your last game of your career. Come on. I don't believe that. He's too much of an attention-seeking individual to have just, hey, my last game that I played a few weeks ago. Yeah, that was it. Thanks for everything, guys. See ya. Deuces. That's not how LeBron was going to do it. And I'm here to tell you he shouldn't have. But there's more to his comments and his quotes. LeBron James says that this is my last decision. I'm not going for money. Well, there was no money to go for, so let's be clear there. He says, I'm not going for family. What I'm really playing for at this point, I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete, to win, and to have a chance at the feeling of winning another championship. As far as that quote, I believe every word in there. I believe every word in there. I believe he wasn't chasing money. I don't think that there was a lot of money to be had. I guess he could have gone to some bad organization to chase money and just ride off into the sunset that way. But I don't think there was money to be had. But I believe him. He was not chasing money. If it was chasing money, he would have actually gone to Miami. Miami According to reports, they could have offered him and given him $15 million a year. $15 million a year to go play for an organization that he's already played for, won multiple championships with, and he could have played with Giannis and Bam and played in Miami and made double the money. He's playing for half that deal with Philadelphia. I believe him when he says he wasn't going to chase money. Okay. I believe him as far as that's concerned. When he says, I still want to sacrifice, I still want to work, I still want to grind, I still want to compete. Who are you to say that you don't believe him when it comes to that? This is a guy that has played 23 straight seasons. This is a guy that is still, even at his age in his 40s, is in such pristine shape. He's in better shape than some of these young college kids coming out of the draft. He takes care of his body. He invests millions and millions per year into his body. That is a guy that continues to put in the work and grind. And yeah, I believe him. I believe that first paragraph was, he was full of it. That was Rich Paul. That was a PR thing. I don't believe him. I believe him in that second part. I believe him when he says he wants to continue to compete and to win and to have a chance at that feeling of winning another championship. I believe that. And this goes back to my point from last week. When people were trying to vilify LeBron for, if he goes to Philadelphia, it's just to chase a championship. I applaud that. I love that. Because you want to know what I would have a bigger problem with is if my favorite athlete, who I am pulling for to continue to add to his legacy, would have sat back and said, you know what? I love this game, but I just want to go play for a crappy organization like the Wizards and just, have no real expectations. Now, I have a bigger problem with that. I don't know why we vilify these NBA players for going to the best spot. I heard Colin Cowherd. I know I've talked about this for a while, but Colin Cowherd, he put it together perfectly. He said, think about the Miami Valley here. Think about, I just spoke with Luke Kennard the other day. Luke Kennard, when Luke Kennard was making his decision on where to go to college, okay, we weren't pulling for him to go to some bad program. We wanted him to go to the biggest, best program possible. We didn't say when I interviewed Luke Kennard on this show when he was in high school, I didn't say, Luke, you're a bum. You're just trying to, you're taking the easy way out. You're going to go to Duke? Really, Luke Kennard? Why don't you go earn it somewhere? Why don't you go somewhere where you can help, build a culture? No, we were so, oh my God, he's going to Duke. That's unbelievable. Shohei Ohtani goes to the Dodgers. We didn't get mad at Shohei Ohtani for going to the Dodgers. We didn't get mad at Tom Brady for going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And again, the Buccaneers aren't a sexy brand, but when he left the Patriots, he went to the team that had one of the best defenses in the league, had one of the best offensive lines in the league, one of the best run games in the league. They went out and got Antonio Brown. He brought his best friend Gronk with him, right? And then he wins the Super Bowl, and not one single person said, oh yeah, look at he's just trying to find he was taking the easy way. I mean, that Super Bowl doesn't count. If anything, people kept saying this might be the most impressive Super Bowl of all of his Super Bowls because of the age in which he did it. And it wasn't like Peyton Manning's Super Bowl with the Broncos, where he looked like an old, aged, washed-up quarterback that was riding the defense, right? Like Tom Brady was one of the main reasons they won that Super Bowl. But we didn't hold that against him, nor should you. So LeBron James acknowledging in his statement that he released that he still wants to put the grind in, that he still wants to compete, and he wants to continue to fight for a championship. He wants to have a chance at the feeling of winning another championship. So he went to the team that gave him the best opportunity to do it. So for that reason right there, I think that's the best reason. That's what you want from your athletes. Bengals fans, don't you want the Bengals to win a Super Bowl? Would you be upset if Joe Burrow said, Joe Burrow, is your goal this year to win the Super Bowl? No, not really. I think it's just want to have fun, just hang with the guys, plan my next outfit for my next fashion show. That would be annoying, right? No, Joe Burrow is almost so obnoxious with it that he missed the playoffs for 3 straight years and saying how this year they're going to go win a Super Bowl. You guys love that. That's what you want, though. That's what you want from your superstar players. Nah, good for LeBron. Going to the place that gives him the best chance to win a championship and not settling for some washed-up organization like the Washington Wizards. But the ultimate competitor picked the Wizards. But the bum that wants the easy way out picked the Sixers. That doesn't make any sense, right? LeBron says, I believe I can help make Philadelphia a championship team, and I am excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time. Thank you, LA. Miami, I'll forever love, and Northeast Ohio will always be home. So there you go. LeBron James is a 76er. How about that? 937-518-1410. That's the number that you can call or text to jump in on the conversation. As I stated earlier, the next part of this is just how many people are absolutely ripping in to the Cleveland Cavaliers for not doing enough to try to lure LeBron to Cleveland. And I said this a while back. I said, it's an interesting dilemma for Cleveland, because I do think if there was some truth serum given to the front office, winning, if they were told, hey, LeBron's going to come back and you're going to win 3 championships, or you are going to pass on LeBron and you're only going to win 1 championship for the rest of your entire franchise's existence, which one do you pick? 3 championships with LeBron, or 1 more for the entire rest of the existence of your franchise? You know which one I think they pick? The one without LeBron. I think what Cleveland needed to do was to tell people and convince people we're a good team, because they are. They were just in the Eastern Conference Finals. They've been one of the better teams in the NBA for the last couple of seasons now. This team did not need to strip this roster down and start over to appease 40-year-old plus LeBron James, who has 1, maybe 2 years, if you're lucky, left in him. LeBron, the Cavs used to be a desperate franchise. They were not relevant. They weren't good. They had nothing to offer. So, LeBron, what do you want? Oh, we have the number 1 overall pick. I mean, Andrew Wiggins has been a very good NBA player, but Andrew Wiggins was really viewed as a guy that could come in and be a superstar. Hey, we're going to give up our superstar in Andrew Wiggins. We're going to give up our top draft pick, because anything you want, LeBron, we are going to give you. LeBron was still in his prime, brought him a championship, many finals appearances. It was worth it, mortgaging the future. The Cavs had no future prospects left. They were bare bones when LeBron bailed on him the second time. Not this time. They have Donovan Mitchell for 5 more years. You have Evan Mobley, who every year continues to get better and better and is one of the best bigs in the NBA, which you need to compete, as you saw with the Knicks. So giving up Evan Mobley, your dominant post player of the future, to go get Anthony Davis, whose goal is to play 82 but will play 40 and maybe 2 in the postseason if you're lucky, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. For the first time since LeBron entered the NBA, the Cavaliers had enough confidence in their roster, in their way of doing things, to look at LeBron and say, we're offering you a chance to come back home and finish your career with a storybook ending, to finish it where it started. We're offering you a roster with Donovan Mitchell. We're offering you a roster with 2 dominant bigs down low in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. We're offering you a youthful roster that can help score, take some of the scoring load off your shoulders, that could help take some of the defensive load off your shoulders with the 2 bigs down low. The Cavs had a lot to offer LeBron. They didn't need to do anymore. Oh, they should have gone to get Giannis. I didn't want them to get Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis has played more games than Giannis. The Cavs made the right call. They should have got Jaylen Brown. You can maybe make a small argument there, but I'm here to tell you, that debate should be about whether they should have got Jaylen Brown, yes or no. LeBron had nothing to do with that, in my opinion. Like, had you got Jaylen Brown, fine, but you would have had to give up Evan Mobley to do that. Now you have a great wing defender. You have LeBron James. You know what I mean? Like, you obviously would have Donovan Mitchell. It's tough to go get bigs to fill that hole. That's the problem that they had with the Lakers. The Cavs had a very, very good roster. But once the Sixers got Brown, with Joel Embiid, with Maxey, it was the right move for LeBron. And it was the right move of Cleveland to not completely change up their roster to appease LeBron, because for the first time since LeBron entered the league, they didn't have to do it. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on 1410 ESPN Radio. The Reds back in action tonight. I spent a lot of time on the show yesterday, but look, the Reds are in a position, in my opinion, where when we come back on Monday, we're either going to be talking about next season or talking about next series. And what I mean by that is, this is a do or die series this weekend. They win this series, the season's still alive. They lose this series, it's on to next year. It's a playoff series. We're talking about the Reds and their ability to make the playoffs. Well, I'm here to tell you, this is the playoff series. The Reds, they have to win this series. If they don't win this series, their season's over. It's the final audition for the Reds front office ahead of the August 3rd trade deadline. We'll talk about that more when we come back. I see some text and other stuff coming in for LeBron and Cleveland. But, not every storyline in sports has to have a villain. LeBron's not a villain for not picking Cleveland. LeBron's not a villain for picking the 76ers. The Cavaliers front office, they're not villains for not bowing down to LeBron's demands. There's no villains in this. This is actually a cool storyline. I'm pulling for LeBron in Philadelphia. I would have much rather had him in Cleveland, but I'm pulling for him in Philadelphia. I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. To me, he is the greatest of all time. But good for Cleveland. In my opinion, Cleveland had enough confidence in their organization to look at LeBron and say, for the first time since you've arrived in the league, we don't owe you anything. We actually can provide you with a lot, more than most. And if you don't pick us, then, if you thought LA fans were mean, I hope your skin is as thick as what you pretend it is, because Philadelphia fans, I don't know if he knows this or not, but they're a little mean, right? A little mean. 937-518-1410. More of the Justin Kinner Show when we come back.
Veterans, were you exposed to harmful burn pit smoke while serving overseas? The Department of Veterans Affairs has recognized and is providing benefits to veterans who suffer with asthma, rhinitis, and sinusitis as a result of burn pit exposure. If you served in the Southwest Asia Theater of Operations or Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Syria, or Djibouti and suffer from any respiratory illnesses that you believe is a result of exposure to burn pits, contact the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
Hi, this is Shannon Crabtree from Mike Foley's Clerk of Court's office, warning buyers beware when purchasing a vehicle from a private party. It's important to take proactive steps to protect yourself. The Montgomery County Clerk of Courts offers 5 convenient auto title locations where you can safely initiate or complete a title transfer in a safe and controlled environment. The Clerk of Courts offers 5 convenient auto title locations where you can safely initiate or complete a title transfer in a safe and controlled environment. For a full list of locations and hours, please visit mcclerkofcourts.org. For more information, call us at 937-225-4480.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places. What you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. From budget to the best. From desks to filing cabinets. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to want to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 Mac Oil Avenue in Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Discover wants everyone to feel special. That's why they double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card. This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-924-7415. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
Cordell Transportation is looking for more weekend warriors. If you have a Class A CDL and would like to make some extra money casually driving weekend daytime routes, then Cordell Transportation is looking for you. Home daily, all loads round trip, no touch freight, and competitive pay. Full-time routes could become available if you're interested. Drive weekends at Cordell Transportation. Apply at CordellTransportation.com or call Ron at 937-277-7271. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Polking Bowling Centers are your connection for family fun or a great night out with friends. Celebrating 75 years serving Greater Dayton. Now is the time to join your friends and register for a fun fall league. Adult, youth, or mixed. Take your pick. Polking Bowling Centers has a fun program just for you. Visit polkingbowling.com or Facebook for the list of fall programs. Let the good times roll at Polking Lanes in Dayton on Wilmington Avenue, Polking Woodman Lanes in Kettering on Woodman Drive, and Polking Lanes South in Centerville on Kingsridge Drive.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX series with 0% financing available or save up to $12,000. Now through July 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment Company in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see a full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check us out online at columbusequipment.com.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, we are back. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun food, sports, and spirits. I tweeted this out earlier. It's kind of wild. Like, so Rich Eisen, the Rich Eisen Show on every day from noon to 3 on ESPN Radio. But WWE superstar Seth Rollins was filling in for Rich Eisen today. And it was the wildest thing. Like, just, I don't know. I just thought it was strange. It's weird. If you told me 10 years ago that at some point you'd be listening to ESPN Radio and WWE superstar Seth Rollins would be breaking the news that LeBron James will be playing in his 24th and 25th season in Philadelphia, it was just a very weird little happening today when I was in the car on the way home. But yeah, LeBron James, that's the big news, the big talking point here today. LeBron James announces that, or Rich Paul announced that LeBron James picks the 76ers, and he's going to go play with Maxey. He's going to play with Joel Embiid. Obviously, they go and they made the big, move for Brown earlier in the offseason, trading Paul George to go get Jaylen Brown from the Celtics. So I thought that, good for LeBron. I have no problem with LeBron picking the 76ers. I would have loved him to pick Cleveland. I would have loved to see him finish his career in Cleveland. But he picks the 76ers. And, of course, I see the media, that the social media reaction. Oh, he's just chasing championships. Good. Like, I want LeBron to be chasing championships. What do you mean? Because if LeBron, this is the thing, LeBron was never going to win. Like, Deron Holmes was in studio with us earlier this week, and he brought it up. He's like, no matter what LeBron does, people are going to spin it into a negative. All right? And Deron's right. No matter what he does, because here's what would have happened. Let's say he would have picked, some bad team. Let's say that, if you look around the NBA, what if the Portland Trailblazers said, hey, we'll offer you $35-40 million a year to come play here. We're not going to win or be good, but, you're going to get the most money. If he would have done that, you guys would have ripped him and said, all he cares about is the money. He has no competitive bone in his body. Then he takes the league minimum. And, in fact, the Miami Heat offered him way more money. Reports came out that the Miami Heat were willing to offer him $15 million per season. He's going to play for $4 million per season in Philadelphia. It's not about chasing money. Oh, it's chasing championships. Yes, that's a good thing. Why is that a bad thing? Bengals fans, Joe Burrow. Why, when Joe Burrow chases championships, you like that, right? Isn't that a good thing? I'd say so. When Shohei Ohtani became a free agent, did you want him to go to the Pirates, some poorly run organization, or the Dodgers? I think we all know that answer. Good for him. You go to the Dodgers, you go to the Yankees, you go to the markets and the franchises that are going to spend money, give you your money, and also put you in position to go compete and win championships. And that's what's happened. So, yeah, this idea that LeBron chasing championships, good. I mean, it always amused me that Michael Jordan, the ultimate competitor, there's nobody more competitive than Michael Jordan. I mean, my goodness, if you crumbled up a piece of paper and threw it in the trash can, he would crumble up 5 pieces of paper and make all 5 in the trash can, because there's just no way that somebody else around Michael Jordan could be a better trash can basketball player than Michael Jordan. He picked the Wizards. Michael Jordan could have come out of retirement and gone to play anywhere he wanted, and he wanted to play with Popeye Jones and Christian Laettner. But we're mad at LeBron because he wants to play with Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid. And he's chasing championship. Yep, that's what I want. I think I would have loved if Michael Jordan would have come out of retirement and chased championships instead of chasing Popeye Jones all over the court. So I'll never understand that this myth of there was no one more competitive than Michael Jordan. That ultimate competitor wanted to play for the Wizards. Well, that's because he had ownership, stakes in there and blah, blah, blah. Oh, so it wasn't about winning. It was just about a money decision. Yeah. Give me the guy that's chasing championships. Give me the guy that's the ultimate competitor. Give me the guy that at 40 years old still invests millions of dollars and works out like crazy and invests all his time and money and energy into keeping his body in shape to continue to give it his all. And to still, at his age, after 23 years in the NBA, potentially being a final piece to a championship team in Philadelphia. Give me that guy. Give me that guy every damn day. Man, I don't know why I got this fired up about it. But let's see. And again, we're live on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. Ron Howard. Ron says maybe LeBron wants another ring from a different team, be the only player with 4 different teams. I mean, absolutely. Look, I've said this before. The fact that, I mean, I don't think it's talked about enough. Again, it's like what Deron Holmes, when he was in the studio, said, no matter what he does, people turn it into a negative. LeBron won a championship, 2 championships in Miami, won a championship in Cleveland, a championship with the Lakers. What do? He's just hopping around from team to team to team. What? I mean, come on. No matter what he does, I think that what he has done, winning a championship with every organization he's played with, I think is unbelievable. That you want to talk about, you could take LeBron, no matter what team he has gone to, they've won a championship. And he didn't join a championship team. He joined a team that had to build into a championship. But he had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Yes, and he needed Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love to beat Steph Curry, to beat Klay Thompson, to beat Draymond Green, and to beat a team that won 70-plus freaking games. Yeah, he needed Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. Well, he needed Dwayne Wade and he needed Chris Bosh. Yes, he needed Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to beat Kevin Durant, to beat James Harden, to beat Russell Westbrook. He needed Chris Bosh and he needed Dwayne Wade to beat, Tim Duncan, Ginobili, Tony Parker. All right, Kawhi Leonard. All right, he needed that. He needed those guys to go beat the Paul Pierces, Kevin Garnett's, Ray Allens. Needed that. Yes, you are right. He needed that. Just like Michael Jordan needed Phil Jackson. He needed Scottie Pippen. He needed Dennis Rodman. He needed pieces around him to go be Michael Jordan, to go be the dynasty that he was. Yes, great players need great players around them to be great. What are we doing? The twisting and turning. But yes, Ron, I do believe that played a role in it. I think that played a role. He could have gone back to Cleveland or Miami. I mean, he could have gone back to Miami, played with Giannis and Bam, potentially, if they make enough roster moves, win a 3rd championship for Miami. That's awesome. He could have gone back to Cleveland and won a 2nd championship for Cleveland. That'd be awesome. But can you imagine? Had 5 championships. He'd be 1 short of MJ, but I think that I already think his 4 to begin with are more impressive. But the 5 championships on 4 different teams. I mean, my goodness. So yes, I think that played a role in it as far as that's concerned. Shaw, what up, Shaw? Shaw says he spurned the Cavs because the owner, he never forgot. I don't know what their relationship is. He was able to overcome it, a decade ago when he returned to Cleveland, for the first time, right? I'm sure that he was going to do them no favors. Let's just put it that way. And maybe LeBron was trying to use that to his advantage, of him wanting the Cavs to make roster changes. You guys know my take on that. I love the fact that the Cavaliers had enough confidence in them as an organization to look at LeBron and say, we love you. Every time we have drafted you or we have come back at you in free agency, like when you came back the first time, we were willing to give up any piece, move on from any piece, give up anything we needed to bring someone in to make you happy. We don't have to do that anymore. You're a great player, but we were just in the Eastern Conference Finals. We have Donovan Mitchell. We have Evan Mobley. We have Jared Allen. The love-hate everyone has with James Harden, but they do have James Harden, who was still a very good player for Cleveland. That's not act like he's a bum. Deficiencies, yes, but not a bum. So, yeah, is what it is. And I hope you're well. Ann Anderson says, I'm disappointed that he didn't go back to the Cavs, but I wish him the best, a class act in whatever he does. Just ask the kids in Akron. Again, LeBron, no matter what he does, I mean, you can't find any storylines of him being a bad person. Oh, he just wants attention. Don't we all? Don't we all? As said individual goes on social media to get attention for their opinion on saying that LeBron James, all he wants is attention. I've always found that to be pretty funny nonetheless. But 937-518-1410, still in the chat. Shaw says, not a LeBron guy, but never understood the chasing championship argument. Isn't that what they are doing this for? Isn't that what Kobe played for? I mean, it is what Kobe played for, but I always question towards the tail end of Kobe's career. Towards the tail end of Kobe's career, it was just about money. Smush Parker. Smush Parker. I mean, like these are the guys that he was playing with down the stretch that he had no chance of even competing with to make the playoffs. The only silver lining to Kobe playing on bad teams down the stretch and playing on a bad Lakers team in the final year is that he was guaranteed to play one more game. His final game, it was marketable. Tune in this Thursday night for Kobe's last game ever as a Laker, and then have to tune in a week later in the playoffs. The only silver lining of them being bad, it was a nice send-off. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, to me, LeBron chasing champion. I've Skip Bayless already doing his thing. Oh, he's ring chasing. Stephen A. Smith, he's ring chasing. Yes, and I love it. Go chase those rings. That's what I want from my best players. I want my favorite athletes to ring chase. Bengals fans, I think if Joe Burrow said, man, I'm hungry, I'm chasing a Super Bowl, you guys would go nuts. You guys do go nuts. That's what he says. That's what he does. That's what he means. And I love it. I love it. You should love it. We all love it. Why is it bad when LeBron does it? LeBron said he was going to a place that he felt gave him the best chance to win the championship. And he's not wrong. Philadelphia is that. Now, he could have gone to San Antonio or others, but like Philadelphia gives him a chance to go compete to win a championship nonetheless. But either way. All right, I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show. Look at that. Time's flying by today here on a Friday. Reds in action tonight. We'll get to some Red stuff coming up around the corner. I'll have, if you missed the interview, yesterday we had Phil Steele. We talked Ohio State and Julian Sayin in Big Ten football. We have that interview for you coming up around the corner. Books A Million and Barnes & Noble. If you're near one of those stores and you want to go get the 2026 College Football Preview Magazine by Phil Steele, that is out and available at Books A Million and Barnes & Noble. You can also order a physical copy at philsteele.com, or you could buy the digital copy. So make sure you go and check that out. But I appreciate Phil giving us some time yesterday, and we'll have that interview for you later on in the program as well. I appreciate Deron Holmes. Deron Holmes was in town this week. He did his appearance with Lee's earlier in the week, and he was, helping Obi Toppin with his camp and his golf outing. And he spent a couple hours with us here in the Wing Studios earlier in the week. So I appreciate him doing that. If you missed that, we have that interview for you again later on in the show as well. But nonetheless, shout out to Chris Wright today. He had been on me for a while. I kept telling him I'll be out there. If you guys have been out to the Flight Dome, the Flight Academy, the work that he has done over in Trotwood, the amount of money and time and everything that he's invested into that community is freaking insane. I knew that was a big development out there, but I had not been out there. I had a chance to go out there today, spend an hour or two out there getting the tour, and it's more than just a basketball facility. I mean, it's going to be a full-on campus, and the ideas and the plans he has for it's pretty dang unreal. And I appreciated him in his time today. He gave me a tour of the facility, but there's going to be more on that coming out. And he's going to be, coming on the show and telling us more about that in due time. But yeah, that was pretty impressive today, but shout out to him nonetheless. Okay. That wraps it up for this hour. We'll step away for a few moments. We have more content to get into. I do want to talk Reds, more on LeBron James picking the 76ers. I stated this earlier, the Reds, it's a playoff series with the Cardinals this weekend. It's a playoff series. You win this series, you convince that front office to go make some moves to lock in this roster, to improve this roster. You lose this series against the NL Central. You only have 9 wins. You're the only team in baseball that has single-digit wins against your division. You lose this series, you're proving to the front office that, all right, a series win against the Rockies, not impressive, but impressive considering how bad you were in July, June and July. But losing to the Cardinals is unacceptable. You have to do something to convince this front office not to blow this thing up. But there are a couple Reds players linked to some trade rumors, including Tyler Stevenson and others. But I think, like Nick Cross said, they're going to meet on Monday. And based on what happens on this road trip, and we all know what that means, based on what happens in St. Louis, I will determine what direction they go in with the trade deadline looming. It's the Justin Kinner Show, presented by Frickers.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Update your living spaces with new flooring. Mohawk laminate floors are durable, waterproof, and easy to install, making them perfect for active households. Enjoy the look and feel of wood flooring with Mohawk Perfect Seal Solutions laminate flooring. On sale now through July 26th. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards. Upgrade to a new quality bath remodel in less time with minimal inconvenience and for less money with Bath Creations in as little as 2 days. We do it right. There are a lot of others boasting about bath remodels these days. Well, Bath Creations' expert craftsmanship and customer service speaks for itself. Plus, all first responders, veterans, and active military will save an additional $500 off your purchase. Visit our beautiful showroom at 8741 North Kimball Road in Clayton or at mybathcreations.com and upgrade your new bath today.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they helped me. They calmed me down. They made me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as that's 888-665-0696.
Here it comes. Surprise! There's an avocado shortage! Now half your food truck menu is costing more than it's making you! Also, you're out of napkins!
Those aren't cheap! Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 10% or more on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, an ice cream truck stole your parking spot! Looks like you're in a turf war!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
Now, back to the Justin Kinner Show, right here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM.
All right, everybody, hour number 2. It's the Justin Kinner Show live here on a Friday. Reds back in action tonight. And we're going to talk Reds, just continuing to respond to some of the comments in the chat. Shaw brings up, didn't Michael Jordan own the team? Don't turn this into a Jordan LeBron debate. No, I said that. I go, Michael Jordan played for the Wizards because there was an ownership stake in there, yes. But, again, he's the ultimate competitor. But he played for the Wizards with Popeye Jones. LeBron's getting criticized because he wants to play with Joel Embiid and Maxey and Jaylen Brown and compete for championships 24 years into his NBA career. That's what I'm saying. Everyone knows the ultimate competitor. Well, one guy's still competing for championships and doing everything he can 23 years into the league. There you go. But Shaw also says, hopefully the age wall doesn't catch up to him. Only one thing undefeated in sports, and it's going to catch up with him. So I'll be surprised if LeBron. And look, we saw some dips in numbers and this, that, and the other, but some of that was him kind of handing the reins off to Reeves and to Luka and others. But I think at any given stretch, and because he has depth on that Sixers team, he can, for injury, to other players for 3 or 4, 5 straight games, he could be the best scorer, best rebounder, best passer, whatever they're going to need. they're going to be able to utilize any of his strengths. And if anything, if you have other guys that are going to carry the scoring load in Philadelphia, and you look at LeBron and say, hey, we're going to play about, 30, 32, 33 minutes a night, go out there and average 12, 13 assists a game, LeBron's going to go lead the league in assists. You want to save LeBron for the playoffs, let everyone else take care of the scoring. LeBron, go facilitate. Go set up Maxey. Go set up Joel Embiid. Go set up Brown. Go be the facilitator. LeBron, just go rebound and facilitate. His game is going to allow him to play many more years if he wanted. Now, he did say that this was his final decision, so that does sound like, he may sign like a one-day contract to retire a Cavalier when it's all said and done, but it sounds like this was his final decision. But I'm just saying, like, his style of play and the way he can be the best passer or rebounder on the floor, he could do that for another couple years. But you want to save him for the back half of the postseason, let him go out there and be the facilitator. I think that, yes, you're going to see age at some point take over. And if it does, that's why you have Maxey. That's why you have Joel Embiid. That's why you have Brown. That's why you have the 76ers. And if it catches up with him and he's not as good, well, it's not a hot take to say that Father Time got the best of LeBron 24 years into his NBA career. There's players that have played 2 decades in the league, and they're nowhere close to being what they were in year 20 as they were in year 1. LeBron's pretty damn close, even at his age, to what he was in year 1, 23 years in. That's dominance, either way. All right, Reds in action tonight. The Reds have come out of the All-Star break. They were 8 games out of a playoff spot when the All-Star break arrived. And yesterday, they were 5.5 games out. They didn't play yesterday. It was an off day. They're now sitting at 6 games out or whatever. But the fact that they've made up a couple games so quickly before you even get to a week out of the trade deadline, it sets up a very interesting series with the Cardinals. There's still another week until the trade deadline, but I think that the Reds wanted to see what this team looked like for these 9 games coming out of the All-Star break, all on the road, and getting a sprinkle of 3 different kinds of teams. A really, really bad team. The Reds struggled with bad teams in the first half. When people say, well, it's just the Rockies. Well, they lost to just the Rockies type teams in the first half. It wasn't really about how bad the teams were. It was about how bad the Reds were. Well, the Rockies are bad. The Reds look significantly better. So they passed that test on the road. Then you got the Mariners, a much better team, right? A much more competitive team when it's all said and done. All right. The Mariners right now, half game out of being division leaders. All right. They're a 500 team. Like the Mariners are a good team. Okay. On the road. And we saw Suarez go deep. Ellie was great. Sal Stewart was great. Like all of the stars for the Reds, Stevenson had a monster night. All the stars for the Reds had monster games. All the stars for the Reds have been good. That's one of the reasons, and I kept saying this for the longest time. People kept saying, man, Nick Krall this, Nick Krall that. I said, hold on. You got to start blaming the players at some point. Tyler Stevenson not producing for the majority of the season, a problem. He's produced over the last couple of weeks, right? Suarez, 5 home runs in the month of July. He has more home runs this month than all the previous months combined. Suarez is starting to swing a better bat. Ellie's healthy and out there. Sal Stewart's been phenomenal. Hunter Green is now back. All right. Emilio Pagan is back, and he has saves in back-to-back outings. Like the players are starting to do their thing. Like this roster's not any different. It's just Suarez is swinging a bat better. Stevenson's contributing. All right. Sal Stewart and Ellie been doing their thing. Ellie's out on the field now. That matters. Hunter Green's back. That matters. Right. But like Emilio Pagan producing as a closer matters. All that stuff matters. The roster didn't get better because of Nick Krall over the last couple of weeks. Players just started producing. And the players that weren't producing before are now producing, and this looks like a different team. Will they look different against the Cardinals? Because that's the other thing. This team, as bad as they've been against all levels of competition, they have been absolutely putrid against the NL Central. They are the only team in baseball to have a single-digit win total against their division opponents. They have the worst interdivision win percentage of any team in baseball. They have been embarrassed by the NL Central. That's why they're in last place in the Central. But you go to St. Louis, who's a half game out of a playoff spot, and you take 2 or 3 and you knock them down a rung, and you win your 3rd straight series coming out of the break while healthy and everyone playing good baseball, Nick Kroll has no choice but to sit back and say, okay, we're going to add to it. Now, multiple reports have come out that this team is not going to be rebuilding. And I said that yesterday. I forgot who it was. Someone had messaged into the show and asked me if I thought that there was any chance that they would, start implementing a rebuild. And I said, I do not think so. I don't think that this team is going to be anywhere close to entertaining the idea of a rebuild. So that's kind of where I'm at, with that as far as that's, I don't see them doing that. So we'll see what happens. Look, the bottom line is, think about it like this. What consists of a rebuild? A rebuild is when you trade your best players. Who are the Reds' best players? Elly De La Cruz, Sal Stewart. All right. You may not like Suarez right now, but Eugenio Suarez, Hunter Green, Chase Burns, Andrew Abbott, Nick Lodolo. They're not trading Nick Lodolo. They're not trading Andrew Abbott. They're not going to trade Hunter Green right now. They're not going to trade Chase Burns. They're not going to trade Elly. They're not going to trade Sal Stewart. So a rebuild is when you unload all your best players and you start over. The Reds aren't starting over. The Reds aren't going to unload their best players. They might move on from Suarez. I don't think that they should, and I don't think that they will if they beat the Cardinals this upcoming weekend. So no, I think a rebuild is very unlikely. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at as far as that's concerned. One name that is being rumored to be on the move is Tyler Stevenson. Ken Rosenthal said the White Sox are working hard to acquire a catcher, and the White Sox could be a team to keep an eye out as far as a potential trading partner for Tyler Stevenson. So the White Sox would be interesting. Some people are throwing out the name Mason Adams, a right-handed pitcher. If the Reds can acquire more depth, pitching-wise. Okay, if you can get an arm like that, like I said, if you can get pieces that help you compete right now, I don't mind moving on from a piece like Tyler Stevenson, who's on an expiring contract. I don't think the Reds should move on from Suarez, because I think that there's a chance he could get hot. And if you're within a playoff race, within 5-6 games right now with 2 months to go, I think it would be dumb to do that. So I think he has more value staying and giving you a chance. But if they do, it needs to be for something strong enough in return to help you win now. And if not, you might as well keep him. Brady Singer is one that's interesting. Has an ERA about like 2.9 over his last 10 starts. He's been pretty damn good. You can probably get a decent return for him. I just don't know if I want them to get a return right now. The return that I want for the Reds is for them to return to winning. And Brady Singer gives them a chance to win. I mean, he's been phenomenal. When you have Chase Burns pitching the way he is, Hunter Green is back and pitching at a high level. Now you have Brady Singer, a veteran arm in that rotation, giving you good outings. You have Andrew Abbott. Nick Lodolo should be coming back soon. Rhett Lauder, by the way, on the mound tonight, got rocked hard in his last outing. Hopefully he kind of get that out of his system as he's adjusting to throwing extended innings for the first time in a while. That's something to keep an eye on as all this unfolds. But, this is an important series coming up. I'm very intrigued to see what kind of team comes out tonight. But here's who the Reds have pitching over the next against the Cardinals. Rhett Lauder on the mound tonight. Hunter Green will pitch tomorrow night. And then Sunday afternoon, Andrew Abbott will take the mound before we see Chase Burns go up against Cleveland on Monday. My thing is that I really wish I want to see Green and Chase Burns in the rotation at the same time. And they are. But am I being nitpicky here? I want to see Green and Burns on back-to-back nights. Like, think about this. So it's Lauder, Green, Abbott, Burns, Singer for the next 5 outings, right? I want Burns and Green pitching back-to-back. I mean, I want to imagine this series against the Cardinals. I feel a little concerned about Lauder tonight, not going to lie. Good chance the Reds probably lose tonight with Lauder on the mound unless he returns to form. We'll see. But Hunter Green pitching game 2. Imagine Chase Burns pitching game 3. Again, Hunter Green and Chase Burns are damn near 2 top 10 pitchers in all of baseball. And you have them in your rotation. And any team, especially a team like the Cardinals struggling to go up against those two on back-to-back dates, that puts you in a position. Like, I look at this series as a must-win. I know you can't move Burns up. You got to be careful with Burns right now, who is on an innings count. And, you heard the Cowboy in the broadcast the other night say that he's not going to pitch the entire season? Well, right now, it's not a big deal because I'm not sure if I have emotionally committed to this team getting back into the playoff conversation. But, man, that's going to be a big emotional pill to swallow down the road if the Reds are in a playoff hunt and they end up shutting down their second-best pitcher, or, in my opinion, their best pitcher. But I would have loved to see this series with Green and Burns pitching back-to-back. But Abbott he has such a wide range of what he can do for you on the mound. And you could say that about most pitchers, but I mean, I like Andrew Abbott. I thought he was their best pitcher last year. I thought he was the most reliable pitcher, the most consistent pitcher. Has not been as consistent this season. But this is a must-win series. And I want to get excited about the Cleveland series next week, but I can't do that because I don't know if we're going to be excited about Reds baseball at all after this series. Because like I said, in my opinion, they win this series, I think they have a good chance to get really back into the play. I mean, they're only 5-6 games back. All right. We saw the Reds make up 2 games in one weekend. I mean, in the first series, they took 2 or 3 from the Rockies. They made up 2 games. They were 8 games back. They got up to 6. They were, within as many as 5.5. You can make up these games quickly, mainly because of the fact that the Reds, from now until early September, every team that's ahead of them in the in the National League wildcard standings, they're all the Reds face all of them. The Cardinals are ahead of the Reds in the wild card standings, 5 games ahead. The Reds have 3 against the Cardinals this weekend. The Pirates are ahead of the Reds. They have 4 with the Pirates next weekend. The Nationals are ahead of the Reds in the wild card standings. Again, remember, the Reds are within 5-6 games. It's not like all these teams who are ahead of them have a mile lead on them. All these teams are jumbled within 5 games of a playoff spot. So the Reds are playing the Cardinals who are ahead of them. They're playing the Pirates who are ahead of them. They're playing the Nationals who are ahead of them. They're playing the Marlins who are ahead of them. Then they're playing the Cardinals again. In fact, they're going to have the Cardinals for 5 games. You have 9 games against the Cardinals over the next 3 weeks. And the Cardinals are ahead of you. As I said, the Nationals ahead of you, the Pirates ahead of you, the Marlins ahead of you, the Diamondbacks are ahead of you, and the Cubs are ahead of you. So the Reds play all 6 of those teams from now until the end of August. The month of August, the Reds can really do some damage to those teams or to themselves. But the opportunity presents itself. For everyone that said, man, they really shot themselves in the foot in the first half, they absolutely did. But while people are so angry and pointing out at how bad the Reds are, I've made this point all season. As bad as what we know the Reds have looked, how bad do other teams have to be to allow the team that looks as bad as the Reds do to still have a fighter's chance? You can't say the Reds don't have any chance when all those other teams have looked equally as bad or have been bad enough to allow the Reds to remain in this. I agree the Reds have not been great. They can't hit. They can't score. Their bullpen, they walk too many batters. There's a lot of things about this team that's not good. And usually if you describe a team like that, they're 20-plus games out of a playoff spot. The Reds are 5. Well, 6. 5.5 yesterday. Hopefully 4 after this weekend, right? But the bottom line is this team's still in it. And I'll take this rotation with Hunter Green and Chase Burns and now Brady Singer pitching the way he is. I'm just saying I feel pretty good about that when it's all said and done. 937-518-1410. If you missed it yesterday, we do have our conversation. We do have our conversation with Phil Steele talking college football around the corner, and we'll have the Deron Holmes conversation to head into the weekend here around the corner as well. Ron Howard, he says, just because you're friends with the GM, sorry, but he's a loser. Look at his record. Facts. I mean, I'm not friends with the GM. I don't even know Brad Meter. He's not even the GM. Nick Kroll. Like Nick Kroll. I don't need to defend this. I've said this, but I don't think Nick Kroll is anywhere close to being an elite general manager, but I don't think he's the worst either. I've said this before. Why are Reds fans? You know who's not mad? You know which fan bases aren't mad? Okay. When you look at, the teams that are in last place, like Angels fans aren't mad. Why aren't the Angels fans mad? They're 41-62. They miss the playoffs every year. You know why those fans aren't mad? They don't have expectations. You know why they don't have expectations? Because their GM is actually bad and has never given them an opportunity to feel hope, right? I mean, the Athletics, sure, they got off to a hot, interesting start, but they're 43-59. They haven't been a good organization for a long, long time. You think their fans are upset? Hell, their fans don't even know. I mean, they have fans in all these cities because they're going on the all West Coast tour until their ballpark is finalized. Their fans aren't upset because they don't have expectations. All right. That's the thing. Like you look at some of these teams, the Rockies, the Rockies fans aren't upset that they suck. They expected to. Why are Reds fans upset? Because this team hasn't lived up to expectations. How do you get expectations? You have to have a pretty good roster. How do you put a good roster together? You have to have a GM that kind of knows what he's doing. He's not perfect, but we're mad because a team with Hunter Green and Chase Burns and Nick Lodolo and Andrew Abbott and Rhett Lauder, all pieces that Nick Krall has been a part of drafting, developing, trading for. Nick Krall did that. Ellie De La Cruz, Sal Stewart, right? Tyler Stevenson, so inconsistent, but my goodness, he's going to potentially get them something of value in return, right? Like I'm just saying, Terry Francona is your manager. Like Nick Krall's done a lot of good considering the limitations that present themselves due to the front or due to the ownership as far as that goes. So yeah, Ron, I said I wasn't going to defend myself, but I just spent the last 2 minutes defending myself. But that's kind of how I view it. I don't think Nick Krall is the worst GM, director of baseball operations and all, out there. President of baseball operations, whatever the position is. But this team has not, that's why I said a couple weeks ago, I don't point the finger at Nick Krall as much as I point the fingers at the players. Suarez, who had 30 home runs almost at the deadline, or at the Suarez almost had 30 home runs at the All-Star break last year. Not even close to that number this year. It's been horrible. Matt McClain, had the great rookie season that he had. He looked like the Reds' future second baseman for the next decade and some change. That's why they offered him a contract a year and a half since being called up. Luckily, he turned it down because he has been absolutely atrocious since. But we all agreed it was smart of the Reds to offer him that contract, and we all agree that we're all happy he didn't sign it. It's not because of Nick Krall. It's because of Matt McClain. You got to hold the players accountable at some point. Noelvi Marte was a great piece. He came through the system. He contributed at every level. He has not figured it out up here. I don't necessarily put that on Nick Krall. That's on the player, right? It's not Nick Krall's fault that Nick Lodolo looks at a piece of paper, gets a paper cut, and is out for 2.5 years at a time. Like, it's on the players. And by the way, since we're only 2 series in, 6 games in, but the Reds have looked significantly better over the last 6 games. Why? I don't know. Amelia Pagan looking like a good closer again. Suarez hitting for power again. Rookie of the year candidate, Sal Stewart looks amazing. Ellie looks amazing. Right? You're getting contributions from all up and down. It's up to the players at some point. And the players that are on this roster have put us in a position to have expectations. Those players weren't doing what they were supposed to. Now they are. Let's see if they can keep it going against the Cardinals coming up this weekend. 937-518-1410. Shaw, what's up? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How you doing?
Good. What you got?
I don't want to harp on the Krall and front office thing because you and I have talked about it ad nauseum, but I agree with you. It's not all Krall. He can only operate with how much money he's given. And I think he takes a lot of heat from me, from you, and then in the fan base for a lot of things that he doesn't do when he's done some good things. I don't think the one thing that I think with this roster that I think he failed at was just maximizing the money and getting the players. Now, to your point, I think he thought the players were going to execute better than what they were. Than what they have so far throughout this season. So, I mean, it's not all on him at all. I agree with you as well. As I just never think there's enough onus put on the players, and especially in baseball, that they have to go out there and they have to produce. And on a day-to-day basis, up until the All-Star break, they just weren't doing it.
But this is where Nick Krall, though, this is where, and again, I'm curious what the Reds do this weekend against the Cardinals, but like, Nick Krall, with this trade deadline coming up, what does he do at this deadline? Right? Because I think this is going to be another opportunity where his decisions are going to be on full display for everyone to truly evaluate. And I am very curious to see what kind of moves he makes. Sometimes I think the best move is no move. I don't think you move Suarez just to move him, right? Like, I think if you get something of value in return, great. But too many people move Suarez, move this guy. Well, these guys haven't played well, so you're not going to get something of substance in return. You know what I mean? Like, so you don't just move on from a guy to move on from a guy. It sounds like there could be a good return for Tyler Stevenson. I'm fine with that. It sounds like there could be a good return, or it doesn't sound like there's going to be a good return for Suarez, as there's not a lot of suitors out there. Or there's a difference between a team that wants Suarez and a team that is desperate enough to give up anything of substance for him. Those teams don't exist. So that's the thing to keep in mind.
Well, 100%. And I was on trading Hunter Green, but I'm now off of that train for the most part, mainly because I just don't trust that the front office would be willing enough to do the trade the way it needs to get done. What do I mean by that? I don't think they're going to go out there and try to win the trade. I think they're going to go out there and just try to get prospects to try to not necessarily quote unquote start the rebuild over again, but something along those lines. And that's where I agree with you also, as I don't think that when you have a Sal Stewart, when you have an Ellie, when you have a Chase Burns, I don't think you're in a rebuild type of area right now. You need to be putting the pieces on this roster that can win around them. I don't remember the guy that was on a show a couple weeks ago, but he said something that made my eyes open up real quick. If you roll through this Ellie era of the Reds baseball, and the best thing you can say about the Reds throughout that time was that they barely won 83 games, and they snuck their way into the playoffs. It's a little embarrassing for the franchise, and I think that should be one of the ways that they're looking at this moving forward. They need to use this trade deadline as a way to propel this team forward and being ready for 2027 and 2028. Yes, I know 2027 is looming with possible stoppage of play. And yes, you need to be looking ahead if this weekend goes well, including the next two series as well with the Indians, especially with the Pirates series right before the trade deadline. I think these three, you combine the three series as into one, to whether or not they should be true buyers or not, or if they're just looking to build pieces moving forward. I don't think it's a rebuild per se, but moving pieces for 27, 28, 29 to fulfill Ellie's contract. And like we all know, unless there's a drastic change with if there's in comes a salary floor and the arbitration and all that other stuff, and all that changes to the Reds' favor, we all know Ellie's going to be gone. So what can we do? I maximize what we have left of him, put a roster around him that can actually put a winning ball club on the field. And that means filling the holes that this team has. You have holes at third base if you don't want to put Sal there. You have holes at second base if you don't trust Arroyo. You have depending on what you do with Sal, put him at third, put him at first. I don't care. Choose one, put him there, leave him alone. So that way he can develop at that position. If you put him at third, well, then we need a first baseman. If you put him at first, we need a third baseman. And I'm sorry, but the entire outfield is wide open and the entire bullpen is wide open. Those are the holes that you need to be making this trade deadline to filling with Major League Baseball talent that can fill those roles to help you win moving forward the next 3 years. Not just trading guys for prospects. So in 2 to 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road, when Ellie's gone and some of these other guys are gone, you're sitting there going, well, okay, are we ready or are we not?
Well, the Reds have done. Remember that year they got Trevor Bauer. That was their approach. Like they knew they were. I forgot what year that would have been. What, 17 or 18? It would have been.
Trevor Bauer was 2019.
2019 because they traded for him in the back half of the 19 season, and then the COVID thing happened. But when they got Trevor Bauer that year, it was one of those where, well, maybe we'll catch fire with Trevor Bauer in the back half with Luis Castillo in this rotation along with Sonny Gray. But this is all about positioning us to go all out, for the next year. Actually, I don't think they had Sonny Gray yet. They traded for Trevor Bauer and they got Sonny Gray in that offseason. But something to keep in mind, the trade deadline is almost the start of the offseason because You talked about all the holes that they have to fill. They're not going to fill all or most of those at this deadline. But if they can go get an all-star bat or just a producing bat at this point, I don't even care if it's an all-star bat, but any bat that they could produce in the outfield, that'd be phenomenal. That'd be a good start. That would give them a jump start on the offseason as far as that goes. The Ke'Bryan Hayes thing, as much as I praise Nick Krall, I think one of his worst decisions ever is Ke'Bryan Hayes. They had this we can fix him mentality when it comes to what his deficiencies in the lineup. But man, he's so good defensively, but there's not even a tiny little percentage of offensive production to complement it. And it's a big problem. And that's one of it's restricted them on how to build inside, because you're right. I want put Sal Stewart at third, or play Suarez at third and Sal at first. And you obviously Matt McClain, if he would just produce at second, you have Elliott short. They're so close, but yet so far away at the same time. It's frustrating.
It's very frustrating. And I question whether or not what they can get for Stevenson. If you believe the reports, it could be a pretty good, decent haul. But if you get rid of Stevenson, you got to get a catcher back to fill that hole. My issues with Stevenson is I just don't think he's good enough defensively to be that lackluster producing offensively. He's not a good enough offensively to be that lackluster defensively. He's okay at everything, but he's not great at anything. So he has a decent arm. It's not a great arm. He's defensively he blocks the plate okay. I believe there's a reason why the Chase Burns and Hunter Green early in his years and some of the better pitchers that we've had don't want to throw to Tyler Stevenson. I believe there's a reason for that. And he's definitely not, and he's too streaky of a hitter for me to trust offensively. So I definitely would love to see him get replaced. I just don't see why anybody, the names that are being offered for Tyler Stevenson, I don't understand why those ball clubs would make the move. There's got to be two to tango, as they say. So I don't see what those other teams would be getting in return for a Tyler Stevenson. The other ones, like the Yankees and some of the other teams, that's prospect driven. And as if I was the GM, I'm just not interested in that right now. Again, trying to fill the roster to win this, not only this year, but moving forward. Getting MLB players ready to go. They don't have to be all-stars per se. They don't have to be superstars. They need to be guys who are average OBP, slugging plus OBP. They're good enough players, but they're not right there where someone wants to pay them a full-length contract where the Reds can go in, okay, we have some money coming off the books, especially if we treat this trade deadline correct. We have some money to spend. We can spend some money and sign you for a couple years and get you under some salary contract. That way that you have some options in the free agency to go after some pitching that actually could help this team win full forward. If you keep Hunter, you keep Chase, you have Abbott, if Lauder can actually turn things around, then you have 3-4 arms on the starting rotation to go along with what you've been talking about since March. You have a starting rotation that's one of the best in baseball, if not the best in baseball. The Lodolo thing is the Lodolo thing. I agree with you. He looks at a piece of paper and he gets a blister and he's out for 6 weeks. I don't even care. DFA him, get rid of him, cut him, let him go. I'm tired of hearing about Lodolo. It's not going to change with him changing the grip. It's not going to change with him moving to the bullpen. Some would say moving to the bullpen actually magnifies the blister problem. So at this point, he is what he is. Cut your losses, get rid of him. And that next year, you roll in there with that $8 million, and that's money to spend. I'm tired of the perpetual, hey, we're going to rebuild for 2-3 years down the road. We get 2-3 years down the road, and hey, we're going to rebuild, get rid of all the things that we just watched for 2-3 years, and rinse and repeat over and over and over again. I'm tired of it. Rebuild, quote unquote, if it's called a rebuild, whatever you want to call it, but build for a winner for the next 2 to 3 years, and let's see what can happen. I don't know. I'm just as frustrated as always about this franchise because there's so many issues, but you can never pinpoint it to one thing or the other to actually be, well, if we fix this, this organization would catapult into the future. And there's so many problems that they're overwhelming that I think that's why this franchise is snake bit, because there's just so many of them and you can't narrow it down. But I don't know what you feel about all that.
But Sean, we're out of time. I'll talk to you another time. I appreciate the call. I'm up against it. I got to get to this break. Oh, you got the Go Blue in there. You just had to, didn't you? It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers. Frickers, your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. But yeah, luck plays a big role in this, and the Reds haven't had a lot of luck. But then I say that, but this is an organization that has Terry Francona as a manager, generational talent in Elly De La Cruz, a Rookie of the Year candidate in Sal Stewart, rotation with all homegrown talent, including 2 top 10 in all of baseball pitchers in Chase Burns and Hunter Green. I think luck, that they're lucky to have those guys. That they're lucky to have those guys. And there's a chance they could have nothing to show for it. There's desperation. There's a lot of desperation. They have to figure something out. You cannot, and I've said this before, I know others have as well, but you cannot end the Elly De La Cruz era in Cincinnati with the only thing going for it, with the only thing to show for it was we got to play the Dodgers in a playoff series that we didn't look good in. Go Reds. I mean, that's a far fall from the Big Red Machine. So jealous of all the older generation of Reds fans that grew up with awesome, amazing Reds memories. Well, our Reds memories are, remember that time that they lost game 162, and because the Mets also lost game 162, that the Reds backdoored their way into the playoffs, and they went and got their asses kicked against the Dodgers and didn't even get to see any of the Reds' best pitchers pitch in that series. And Hunter Green did technically pitch, but he got shellacked. And oh yeah, I mean, Reds Fest and all that stuff, those are the memories we'll be talking about for decades on decades on decades. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Frickers.
ESPN